Good evening. The Security Council just held consultations on the situation in Congo, the DRC. You know that the DRC, especially the Kivus, have gone through military and political tensions recently, and a major humanitarian crisis. As always, political and military tensions lead to humanitarian situation that hits the civilians most. Undersecretary General briefed us on his recent visit to the region, and he will speak to you after my remarks. He had met with the leadership in Kigali and in Kinshasa, and he met with President Museveni. That trip came in the wake of meetings the Security Council had a couple of weeks ago with the foreign ministers of Rwanda and the DRC here in New York, and it comes in the run-up of the GA opening week, when there will be a high-level meeting on the DRC next week. Today, Council members agreed that a political solution to the crisis is of utmost priority, a political solution. Dialogue, confidence building, and cooperation between Kinshasa and Kigali are urgently needed to address also the root causes of the conflict. Council members welcomed recent regional efforts to address the current crisis and emphasized that their focus should be on a political process. And Council members also welcomed the Secretary General's active engagement in solving this crisis in the DRC. They looked forward to the high-level meeting on Eastern Congo scheduled for next week, as I said, and expected this meeting to strengthen and assist the political process and ownership by the region. That is the gist of our consultations we had. For details, I'd like to refer you to the remarks that Undersecretary Latsus will make in a minute.
There's been a lot of tough talks about Rwanda in the Council in the last few weeks, so I'd like to know, is there any appetite within the Council for sanctions against Rwanda?
As I said before, and you mentioned, we had a dialogue with the foreign ministers of Rwanda and of the DRC. Our focus was clearly in those meetings to explore possibilities to initiate a real political process with a focus on a dialogue of those two countries. So this is the priority, and I detect a will to strengthen the political dialogue and not to focus on sanctions at this point in time.
Uganda's foreign minister, Henry Okello Oryem, said that the International Conference on the Great Lakes region has, quote, lost faith in MONUSCO. And I wanted to ask you this question because the Council obviously, mandates MONUSCO, basically losing faith given the amount of money being spent, that the problems have gotten as bad as they've gotten in the Kivus. As a Council member and as President of the Council, what do you make of that criticism?
We take note of the engagement of the region, which is something positive. And the International Conference of the Great Lake region has been engaging in that crisis, and that a priori is a very positive development. We also take note of their suggestion that has been mentioned today to explore the possibility of a neutral force. That, of course, members raised that issue has to be discussed when the time comes, the relationship to the task of MONUSCO. But I think all of us welcome a regional engagement that helps to solve that crisis in the DRC.
I would like to ask you about Yemen, please, Mr. President. You discussed Yemen this morning, and Jamal bin Omar briefed the Council. did you discuss taking or thinking about procedures or action against those responsible of undermining the transition in Yemen?
I have nothing to add to the statement that I read on behalf of the Council, summing up our discussions this morning. You know that we invoked the resolution that the Council adopted on Yemen, which contains some possible follow-up action also regarding the spoilers of a transition process, and that resolution was invoked a couple of times, and I think it shows that the Council eventually is willing to accompany in a constructive, but if need be also clear manner, this process of transition in Yemen.
Thank you, Ambassador. Mr. Brahimi said he's coming to New York this weekend. When will he brief the Security Council?
We agreed to meet as Council, Mr. Brahimi, on the 24th in the morning, and we will have informal consultations with him, and that was agreed in the Council and with him. Thank you.